And I probably wandered away from the purity of stand-up. Come on, lighting guy. Take on board that it'll take 10 years for you to find your voice. It's a journey, not a destination. I probably got back into stand-up proper about sort of 3 years ago. But I've been around comedy for 12 years, as it happens. Yeah. I think this is about my 10th festival or something like that.
That's amazing.
It's not. It's sad. Yeah. And here I am, standing outside a pub in Richmond, being lit by a porta-flood light, looking over at everyone's favourite destination for heroin.
Oh, yeah.
The Housing Commission flats.
The housing.
Feels good, doesn't it? People are going to vote for this. There's going to be people from the left going, look at Butler, he's at it again.
It's good to just get up there, ask people a few questions and just get them really involved in the performance themselves. I'm looking forward to the Aristocrats, that should be fun.
Oh, yeah. I love the Aristocrats nights.
Yeah, I might get all fanboyish on Paul Provenza a bit.
I think you will agree with me that I'm afraid this just has to go to the event horizon of Jackson Clark.
That is a boy who is dedicated to his satire. Hopefully.
It's 15 minutes each.
15 minutes each.
Yeah.
Is that easier, you're finding, to do?
Yeah. Well, we haven't actually
Not with
tried
Brenton.
much.
No, I'm kidding, of course.
Like, I know it seems like me and my reflection don't get along, but we are closer than we may appear. Yeah.
But it worked because it is just two open mic comics doing 15 minutes each.
Before I could do anything about it, Lucy had come up to me and was like, oh, Jade said you wanted me to pretend that I'm your girlfriend, is that true? And I was like, yes. Yes, it is. Yes.
Hi, thanks for coming. It's kind of you.
What did you think of the 59 Festival?
It was a blast. It was really good fun, really good people. I like the concept of free comedy as well.
Why would we give religious people any credence whatsoever? Like, they haven't got a really good track record. You know, there's no royal inquiry into sex abuse going on at the CSIRO.
Science is not really being listened to, and that religious. Yeah, it's a bit science versus religion, loosely.
I'll be out the back of the room with a jug. Someone will come and dance on stage for you in a minute.
Like in Singapore, it's not impolite to tell someone that they're fat. You could say, like the first time I went back a few years ago, as soon as I met my friends, every single one was like, hey Gary, you're quite fat now. Like, just pointing it out.
But he was like, oh, do you remember the girl, she's got short hair, and the one with all the piercings? It's like, no, who? I knew who it was. It's fake. It's like, no, you know the one she takes like really long lunch breaks? You know, she bakes a lot, you know that one? It's like, who? You know the one with the thing and she's got like the husband and all that? It's like, who?
We're Asian, so we just say it.
And then finally he was like, well, you know, she's a bit.
You know, moccasins, and they're torn to the point where I have to replace them, and they only cost about $10 down the market, and they're the most comfy shoes, and I love telling people, because being a smart bogan, I never want to lose the bogan.
Belly button link, guys, like you young guys, you get belly button link. Wait till you get to 40, it grows and takes shape. I was sitting in front of the TV the other day, I pulled out a knitted sock.
It's called Living the Dream, which is the opposite to Living the Dream. So it's living in a poor town, growing up in there, living it hard pretty much, and taking the hard way up to the top. Because soccer is very sexist. It's a man's sport. Because obviously they like 40-year-old men playing with little boys and girls more than women, so Michael Jackson should have been a soccer coach.
Tell you what's really cool about it. It's a dingy bar that's just down a lane in Flinders Street, and I met Jack Black there, and the director of Saw. Remember the movie Saw?
But I'll give the junkies the benefit of the doubt, right? So I gave him a call.
Not the junkies, the train station.
I guess you would say the psychological motivation behind both the call centre workers and what the customers on the other end don't actually get.
But comedy's subjective, so like what I find funny is not what the judges find funny or what some of the members of the Comedy Festival Association find funny. So I guess, whoever wins is funny and deserving in someone's eyes.
So hasn't that happened to him? Am I right, boys? Things are different in Geelong.
It's just an awesome experience. It's a world that you wouldn't understand unless you're in it.
It feels, it's pretty much just a kind of basic message of love and forgiveness, because it pretty much seems like that's one of the only real messages worth doing is compassion.
That's the main, there's a couple of main moral messages of tonight's show. One of them is try to keep that infinite forgiveness thing in mind. And if you see someone being really evil, don't perpetuate the cycle of revenge fantasies.
Yeah, I like two kind of clashing influences colliding together.
The vast majority of it, I think, is just a huge amount of satire, a lot of sarcasm.
Do you guys, those Facebook friends who really like ancient medicine and just constantly post about that? And they're always coincidentally the ones who like smoke a lot of weed and talk about aliens.
I try to make it feel like it's a conversation between two friends.
It's only 15 minutes, so you don't need like much of a structure or like a narrative or anything. So you can kind of just do lots of material, which is fun.
Like what you have on your plate obviously defines how big your stomach will be, but what you choose to leave at the buffet table defines how big your heart is.
What do you think?
I agree. I agree so much.
And it is an odd feeling going from, awesome ice cream to, I have a sore shoulder. Like, it was like, love, hate. Like, it switched so quickly.
I don't know. It's not 36 hours. That's the show that it was going to be.
Right.
But it's not that.
Yeah.
It's just me doing stand-up for half an hour, man.
Or maybe it was because she realised that they were actually her headphones and I stole them out of her bag.
Yeah, and then sometimes it doesn't work and then you feel dirty.
So it was interesting to realise now how sensitive people have become about that language, and it made me really think about what you say on stage is so important, because you've only got a short time to get your character across, and if people don't know you and you speak like that, they're going to assume the worst.
Yeah, that's actually not the funny bit. You're not meant to laugh. That's horrible. That's what comedians sound like in the 80s.
I've made mistakes in the name of stand-up comedy, and you learn something and you think I'll do that a bit different next time.
It's tricky, isn't it? It's getting philosophical, but you got to think, are you a journalist or are you making something creative?
Perfect example, I went to the milk bar, Middle Park, walked up to the woman behind the counter, I said, hello. She said, good, thanks.
Well, you probably missed my show if you're watching this documentary. But I have a website, nickstevens.tv. It'll tell you where I'm at next, so I would love to see you at a show. Thanks, guys.
When I went to Japan, I found out that these exist in Japanese, and I've made a living learning how to tell them in Japanese, and because I'm not Japanese, it's interesting for a white fella to be able to do that.
The train arriving on platforms 5, 6 and 7 is coming in sideways.
Which I thought was better than what they were saying when I got there. Things like chat.
I mean, it's a new world for me. I'm sort of like Rip Van Winkle, awoken after 20 years to a new world. It really is a new world.
If there's one main message to take away tonight, it would be, if you see a comedian at the back of the room selling a CD, Infinite Love, for $5, don't just avoid eye contact and walk past. Buy a CD, it's only $5.